Episode 3 starts off with a bit of asset management and then me building an extension. To the chest, of course, but, it's a start. So after that absolutely gripping start, it's time to abduct some sheep to populate the farm, which is currently bigger than my house. Commiserating the one sheep who was forced to play wingman on this occasion, I went home and crafted some shears so I can harvest their wool without stabbing them in the face. Having been sheared, Wingman made a breakout attempt, and when stopped, he walked away, nonchalantly claiming he didn't speak any English. A few moments later, a wandering trader showed up, wanting to know if I had any scrap metal or catalytic converters for sale. Unfortunately, the most valuable thing he could offer me were his leads, which consequently led to him and his llamas getting murdered. After this, I was on the market for some adventure, but not before abducting another sheep, breeding them, and giving the Wingman sheep the nod of commiseration. Deciding to do a bit of exploring, I geared up and headed east. About 50 blocks away, I found a big hole. I didn't go down it for fear of being killed, but hey, the more you know. Tarzaning it across the treetops towards the far east, I stopped for a nap and then continued on my way. Having established that there was nothing of interest in the east, I headed back to this river that I found, which is the home of many, many animals, starting with the pigs, and then the sheep, and then the cows. I collected enough food to last me a good long while. I also found another big hole which could be handy in the future if I don't forget about it. After that, it was time for even more slaughter of even more animals until I realised that my daring adventure had basically brought me round in a big D shape. Undeterred at the fact that I only collected things that I could have collected in the immediate vicinity, I cooked all of my loot and stored it before hunting down a zombie and using my SWAT shield to full effect. The next morning I found a skeleton underneath a tree and charged him. Unfortunately he didn't drop his bow, but that's fine, I'll just have to craft one. Then paranoia set in and I heard another skeleton that didn't actually exist. Having prepared myself for another adventure, I got in my boat and headed north to see if there was anything interesting there. Having hit every lily pad on the lake, I reached the north shore. Then I climbed to the top of a dark oak forest and maxed out the chunks to see what I could see. Seeing a plains biome in the distance, I decided to head towards it in the hope that there might be a village there. When I made it to the plains, I noticed two things were missing: the village that I had hoped for and the bed that I forgot to bring. With the sun dropping very quickly, I stabbed a few sheep and threw together a bed just in time to avoid getting killed. The next morning I came across a beehive which I'd never seen before. Not really knowing how they work, I did the only thing that a guy like me knows how to do, and hit it with a stake. With the effects of stake slapping the hive being incredibly disappointing, I decided to have a gander at what else was around, still hoping for a village. My hopes, however, were in vain, because I came across nothing but swamp, mountains, dark oak forest, and other sources of letdown and disappointment, so I went home and continued the anti-lily pad policy on my way. And that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. It's a short one, but that's because I've decided to stop risking my life unnecessarily. Join me next time where we will continue to get disappointed at, well, most things and do very little whilst wanting to do an awful lot but not doing anything because we're fearing for our lives. Anyways, on that note, I'll see you next time.